at 11 for the update." Penny chuckled obligingly, but like the friendly overtures, it could just as easily be a sympathy laugh. Hailey was about to let her coworker off the hook with a smile and a wave, but Bess began panting anew. From her vantage point on the floor, Hailey could detect the light scent of acetone assailing her nostrils, a warning sign the dog wasn't getting all the nutrients she needed. "Uh-oh," Hailey said. "Before you go, would you mind smelling her breath? I hope she's not developing toxemia." Penny's response to this was a gasp. "Don't move," she warned from her position in the doorway. "Scratch that. Don't blink. Don't even breathe." Assuming Jasmine was heading their way, Hailey cast a panicked look around the small rectangle of her office. There was nowhere to hide, not herself and not Bess, whose breath was really starting to worry her. But then Penny spoke again, this time with a slight squeal. "You'll never guess who's walking down the hall. Hailey, I told you not to blink. You're blinking." It was true. She was blinking. She was also breathing and moving, but only because she enjoyed her life on this earth, however little it might appear to someone as glamorous as Penny. "Cole Bennett," Penny said. "It's Cole Bennett. My heart is leaving my chest. My blood is on fire. I might die." At the mention of the quarterback of the Seattle Lumberjacks, local celebrity and football god, Hailey's body underwent a similar change. Her pulse leaped, and a hot thrumming filled her veins, but she fixed her attention on the dog instead. She wasn't going to fall for that trick again. Her co-workers liked to pull it out at lunches and meetings and pretty much anywhere Hailey could make a fool out of herself, which, to be fair, was a lot of places. The last time one of them had faked a Cole Bennett sighting, Hailey had actually stood up so fast she'd nearly fainted. "Well, maybe he can get down here and smell Bess's breath," Hailey said. The dog panted in agreement, sending another hot blast of that worrisome smell her way. "Do you think anyone would notice if I slipped out for an hour or so?" A body lowered itself to the gray-carpeted floor next to her. Much to her surprise, it wasn't the long, lean figure of her coworker. In a former life, Penny had been a ballerina, and she had both the posture and the waistline to prove it. This figure, however, was much bigger, broader, built like the kind of man who— "What are we smelling for?" he asked. All the air left Hailey's lungs at the sound of that voice. Lots of men were big and broad, but only one of them spoke with that low, dulcet richness. She barely had time to register what was happening, or more to the point, who was happening, when a pair of impossibly large hands came up to cup either side of Bess's head and pull her muzzle close. "No, don't," Hailey began, but it was too late. Cole Bennett's face, that gorgeous, flawless, famous face, was pressed against the nose of an unknown golden retriever in the final days of her pregnancy. Bess was an absolute darling of an animal, and her sweet disposition made her about as easygoing as they came, but there were certain rules to this sort of thing. The most important rule was that when it came to mothers and their babies, all rules were off. Bess was 100% within her rights to view this oversized stranger as a threat and act accordingly. Fortunately for them all, Bess took one look at him and began to enthusiastically lick. "Well, hello there," Cole said, laughing as the dog's tongue explored his cheeks and chin. "I normally like to buy a lady dinner before things get this far, but I appreciate your enthusiasm." Hailey doubted he'd appreciate the same level of enthusiasm from a lady like her, so it was a good thing she'd long ago memorized the exact angles of his face. His cheeks were wide-set and well-sculpted, his chin a perfectly chiseled square. Sometimes, when he stood in profile, it was like looking at a statue of a man rather than the real thing. "Oh my God," Penny said, as Cole gave the dog one last pat and rose to a standing position. Both she and Hailey had to step back, not because of Cole's size, which was substantial, but because his presence expanded to fill the tiny office. "It's really you." The comment wasn't as silly as it sounded. Even if Cole Bennett hadn't been the most famous quarterback in the entire American football club, he was a man to admire based on pure physicality alone.